16th of September, I believe, 3:30 a.m. 3:30 a.m. Kiri, what's going on? I sleep much earlier these days, midnight, 12:31 latest. I'm going to rest a little bit tomorrow. But I'm up because there was something on my mind and I have to do this. So, for bed, chilling, good. I was watching some boxing downstairs, everything like that. I saw something. I'm not going to go into too much details, but I saw something. Someone who I haven't seen for a long time. Whatever. Exposed to something now. I go to sleep and I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, what? And then my heart's racing a bit. I'm like, wait, what's going on? And I'm talking to myself, like, talk to me, Kiri. What's going on? You feel that certain type of way for what reason? I saw something which is presented in a way, essentially, and again, not going to go into too much detail, that this person looks like they're doing well. I'm very surprised because when you haven't seen what people are doing for a long time and you do, and listen, again, I'm always keeping it real. I'm not someone to be checking things, whatever, but sometimes, somehow, even this one situation, you come across things. Yeah, it is what it is. Things are put in front of you for whatever reason, or you're exposed to. It's calm. I'm not like that. I support everyone. I wish everyone from the bottom of my heart the best. But I was taken back by it because I was very surprised. I was like, what? This really surprised. But then I sit back and remember, like, bro, it's been years. People can change. They look at you and they say, you're surprised. What? Shade, look different, tattoo, how I articulate myself. I'm trying to remember when I was, not 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago. Different, right? I look at my flashbacks. Extremely different. It's a different human being. This is life and this is the journey. But when I saw it, you know when you haven't seen someone for a long time, and my mum always says you like pick up where you left off. Our brains, how we're wired, we always think of that person in that version. And if you haven't seen anything, you still assume they're that version. So like I saw George like a few weeks ago. Before I saw him, I didn't even recognize him the first time. I was like, oh my, like, see what I mean? And you pick up from where you left off. It's the same thing. So when I saw that, just the idea of that individual was, they're not going to achieve anything, whatever. And listen, we all do it unconsciously. Of course, that's not a nice thing, but I was like, nah. Yeah. You know they're going to develop and everything, but to that extent, at that level, I was shocked. And hats off, respect, so wholeheartedly, respect that, you understand? And I respect it because I have to. It's essentially maybe a position that I want to be in, not exactly in that industry or whatever, but something which, and I just did some research about it, I must envy. My heart's beating a bit fast. I'm thinking about it because there's a part of me that's jealous, and I can admit that. I'm not a jealous person. And I know jealousy gets such a bad connotation. And listen, when it comes from hatred and everything, yeah, but I'm using that and saying, okay, this person, whatever I've seen, was really surprising. It's been so long. So much time has passed. So of course, I wish these people the best. But to see that person do that, and it takes me back and I'm like, fuck, I did not expect that. I did not expect that at all. Again, not going to go into too much detail. So my heart started beating a lot because there was envy there. I was jealous. There was a part of me that was jealous. And I don't know, sitting here, I do feel like a lot of motivation. Like, okay, this is what you're doing now. It makes me better, Have you seen that thing when the two people are trying to like touch the wall the highest, and the first time they get quite high and they keep pushing each other and they keep beating their personal best? I'm like, fuck, this is what you're doing now, yeah? No problem, you might beat me in this department and everything, but I'm going to beat you in this department. It's not it's in a playful, jokey way, innit? But it shows like, cool, I need to work. I'm working hard, but another 5%. Maybe when I'm down, I can't do extra press up. I'll bring that in my mind, not in a toxic, obsessive way, but in a motivating way, because I want to be better than that individual. And I can admit that. Listen, we're all competing as males, especially. We're all trying our best. But especially that one individual, I want to be that person. I want to be the hand raised and say, you're the winner. I want to. In the race of life, I want to. Just like two boxers. They'll go at it, they'll show respect after, but they both want to win, right? Same football team. They go at it, aggression, testosterone, but they both want to win. I want to beat this person. And when I saw that, I was like, is this guy technically beating me? Maybe in one aspect, yeah, I can probably put my hands up. But I don't think I can compete for what I saw. Fair enough. But in other things, maybe like body, how I articulate myself, I don't think man's coming close. So I have to do this because I have to get it out. I have to keep it authentic. For a split second, I was like, oh, don't do it. It's a bit cringe. It's a bit awkward. At this time, bro, this is life and this is what the channel represents. I'm so happy I got that out. I'm extremely happy I got that out. I'm going to really relax now. I'll try and do some bit more meditation. I'm going to have to wake up a bit later tomorrow. I need my sleep, my recovery from my training. Life's going really well. And I'm thinking now, if man makes 5 million, let's just say, and I make 10 million, what does that mean? If man makes 10 million, let's just say, flip the script, and I make 5 million, what does that mean? Now, we're both done well, we both did it, fair enough, and he warrants that. If he's achieved that by himself, then he warrants that. And I respect that. Because there must have been times where he didn't know where to turn or whatever. Certain things worked out for him. That's it. Anyone that is doing well, they've done it from hard work. I think I was just so taken back because I didn't think this individual could work that hard. But bro, time has changed. People change. And when you meet certain people at certain times, that's a segment of your life and that's a timestamp. And we always assume they're going to be like that. And that's the problem. So when they say like stunt on these hoes and shit like that, it's because everyone's thinking you're that type of person. They're thinking, people haven't seen my body transformation. They still think I'm skinny. Then they see me, whoa, what tattoo? Whoa, glasses, who's this bad man? Can you see? It's the same thing. It's just very different when it's you because you live in your own life. And you know what's going on in your life, but you don't know anything else about anyone else's life. On my life, say it on camera. I'm not going to say who, whatever, but respect wholeheartedly. Respect wholeheartedly, and I honestly wish you the best. I'll do one of those. No remorse here, wish you the best. It took me by surprise, and I can acknowledge and do introspection to say, this was something a bit different. Big shock. Big shock. And I can only say, I respect that and I wish you wholeheartedly the best. But what we can never do is focus on ourselves. I'm never going to let something like this affect my mental health or be tossed and turned. I'll see it, cool, felt a bit affected, heart was racing, couldn't kind of sleep for, I'm not going to say restless or whatever, but yeah, it was something on my mind. I want to talk about it. I've now talked about it, I've expressed it, I'll put it in a box. And we move forward, because best believe there's things on the list that are getting ticked tomorrow, whether I like it or not. Try my very, very best. And that's all we can do in this life. Try our very, very best. It's not about what's going elsewhere. Of course, we all want to have a good life and everything is in proportion to the people around us. And as males, what we said, we are competing. Competition is good. But bro, there's lots of girls, there's lots of money, there's lots of assets to attain. Two people who deserve it, who have done the hard work, can enjoy the spoils of that, okay? I know I'll be one of them, and I wish everyone watching this that they can join me as well. And we can all have a good life and be as fulfilled and experience so many beautiful memories as we can. But remember, last point I'll leave it on, Kyrie. When you see certain things, it's a snippet, my bro. You don't know what's going on behind the Instagram, let's just say. You don't know what's going on behind the screen. You don't know what's going on in the head. They're not going to come and do videos like this where they speak so authentically at 3:30. You don't know what's going on in their family. Substance abuse. I'm not wishing these things on anything, but you don't know. Vape, alcohol, drugs, weight issues, insecurities. The list goes on. Trauma, come on now. Anything. We all experience hardship in life. And no one's brave enough to come on camera like me and say these things. But I will. It makes me feel so good, and I feel so sleepy and so relaxed that I can reassess. It's part of the journey. I have to do a therapy session on this. It's a part of the journey. Because in the end, we'll look back and laugh. This is my story. This is my life. And I can only send countless blessings to everyone. Whether you've had trouble in the past or whatever, I wish everyone wholeheartedly the best. Because there's a lot of room at the top, you know. One thing for sure, I'll be there. If it's the last thing I do, I'll try my very, very best to become the best. And show them security, the ceiling. Can you not see that? Maybe I'll put the light a bit brighter. Can you see that? I can't even see what you lot are seeing, but fingers crossed. You become the man you have always wanted to become at the right time. People on different journeys, people do different things. You have to stay focused. You cheer for everyone because their time comes now, possibly your time will eventually come. God's timing, not religious fate, call it whatever, the energy of the universe, spirituality. If you give out the positive energy in the universe, things will come back to you. This is how life works, my friend, and you know it. Okay, so play the game, understand what's going on, and just wish these people, honestly, so wholeheartedly the best. What did they say? You're a lesson, your friend, or you're a lesson, or something like that. What's that dumb quote? I'm too tired. I need to sleep. You either a nice memory or lesson or something. I don't know. Regardless, extremely grateful, extremely blessed, and extremely excited about everything that's to come. Love.
If you want to fix your life today or have access to my free self-improvement guide, all links will be down below.